A sensational comeback from Tottenham Hotspur, 1-0 down, 2-1 down, 3-2 down to win the game 4-3. A brilliant day in the office for Liverpool as well as they smashed 3 goals past Southampton, a brace from Darwin Nunez, and a top class performance from Alisson in goal. The saves from him in the second half were out of this world, but Spurs' comeback will have their fans jubilant this evening. They went into that last 10 minutes staring down the barrel, Conte out pending. Every time they played well and got back into the game and then sat back. Each time Leeds punished them. But they had the fight, they had the quality, they had the desire to go and get those 3 points, those massive 3 points needed before, of course, the World Cup break to keep themselves inside that top 4. Man United would look at them and thinking, we can level on points with you. And they pulled it out of the barrel, and you've got to give credit to Tottenham for that. It was sensational from them to come back. I'm sure Tottenham fans will be frustrated with the style and frustrated with why do we have to go behind before we came back. But it was another sensational comeback for them in the Premier League. And you've got to give credit where credit is due for that. We always will at the Football Terrace. Dramatic stuff. Liverpool fans want to hear from you as well. Darwin Nunez with 2 more goals today. A solid performance from him and Liverpool at large. Make sure like buttons are being hit. Make sure you're subscribing to the Football Terrace as well. Very important that you get that done. Spurs 3 points off City. Come on, you Spurs, is what MMAG has got to say here. Terry mudded. Yeah, well, I'm definitely gutted they won because I wanted Man United to level on points. Mudded, not so much. Spurs should be beating Leeds at home. Conte terrifies Terry is what football matters there. Spurs terrify me. Yeah, they were terrifying in that last 10 minutes. No doubt about it. Kulusevski is not talked about enough. Well, he is by me, and I think Spurs fans forget this. I tweeted out back in Feb. I said he was a better signing than David Luiz was, and I stand by that. Kulusevski is brilliant. And whenever Tottenham attacked today, whenever Tottenham increased the intensity today, they were brilliant. I think the one element that Spurs fans will be upset about is why do we have to go behind to play? Because against better teams, you're not going to win. And we know that because they've not beaten anybody in the top 6 this year. They've not had a good performance against anybody in the top 6 this year. They need to change that. But yeah, Kulusevski, sensational talent, no doubt about it whatsoever. Kuli FC finding the winning way again. Just cannot say again that this kid is a next level player. He's out of this world. He really is out of this world at times. He really, really is. Sensational talent. The way he drives at players, the way he commits people. I don't quite understand why you got rid of him. One of the most bizarre decisions I've seen in a long time. In a long time. It really is a bizarre decision indeed. It really is. But there are strange things that happen in football. there are strange things that happen in football sometimes. There really, really is. Josh here says, brilliant attacking performance from us. Cut through them every opportunity. Best attacking performance since Kulu last started. Centre-backs are a problem. Yeah, look, there are definitely issues at Tottenham. You can't get away from that defensively. I think that what it is for me, though, it's the lack of intensity. Like it's almost like when you got back to 1-1, you sat back, they scored. You got it back to 2-2, and then from like the 50th, you equalized about the 50th minute, right? Yeah, 51 minutes. And then between then and when Rodrigo scored, for me, Leeds were the better team, the intensity-wise. And then you go 3-2 down, and then you increase your intensity. That must be frustrating for Tottenham fans from the point of view of if we attack with this much energy from the start, if we maintain this intensity, we want to keep going behind. Moyes is a glorified Southgate, is what's been said there. I haven't even checked on the result in that game. We know the way he plays football, though. Oh, what was the score? They got beat by Leicester 2-0. There we go. Thank you for the super chat, though, my friend. I didn't know the result in that game. I hadn't even looked at it up until now. Terry, I told you they would win. Yeah, I mean, they should be winning. They should be. I thought they were going to draw the game today, and it could have been a draw. Like, it's one of those things where if you predict a draw or a team to lose and the complete opposite result happens. So if I say Spurs are going to lose 3-0 and they win 3-0. It's completely wrong. If you think a team's going to draw and someone wins, 4-3, like your prediction isn't massively wrong. But when Spurs attack, this is why the whole squad thing is kind of weird to me. When Spurs attack and put it on teams, are good. So do it more. That would be that's the solution to the problem, as it were. Everton are getting relegated, is what Football Matters says here. Maybe, maybe not. We will see. I'd say what is interesting in the Premier League, though, is Liverpool again. So you look at Liverpool now, that's 4 wins on the bounce in all competitions, 2 on the bounce in the Premier League now after that little blip. And you suddenly start looking at that Premier League table and they're sitting 6th. Yes, they're on 14 games played. But what are they now? They're 5 points off the top 4, Liverpool. That's why I said to a lot of people a little while back, writing Liverpool off in this top 4 race is silly, especially if they sign some players in January. Very, very silly indeed. You then look at their next fixtures. Away to Villa, I think they'll win. Home to Leicester, away to Brentford, away to Brighton. They've got a tough fixture list over that Christmas period. They get through that though with a good amount of points. They're well in this race. Because I still think Newcastle will wane slightly wane and fall away as we get to the business end of the season. A lot of these players haven't been there, haven't done it, haven't worn the t-shirt. Liverpool have. I think they need January signings, but Liverpool are well and truly in this race. And we've bantered them and we've laughed at their expense. But at no point has my prediction changed. And it's interesting because my top 4 prediction at the end of the transfer window was City, Arsenal, Liverpool, Tottenham. I certainly still think that's going to be the top 4. Maybe not in that order now, but that's certainly still going to be the top 4. Stephen here says was really important to get the win today before the World Cup. Now, hopefully, Klopp and the players can go back and rethink what to do for the rest of the season. I think what's really important about Liverpool's performance is they came out with intensity. I wouldn't blame Tottenham's on the World Cup because Tottenham have lacked an air of intensity in a lot of games this season. But Man City will be kicking themselves they came out so slowly. That mistake wasn't made by Liverpool today. And you're right, they get to, as a football club, you get to relax to a degree over the World Cup period. You won your final game. Your trajectory is good going into the break. And for Spurs, it's the same thing. Because if Tottenham, and I'm just looking at Tottenham's recent fixtures, because I cover so many teams, because they'd lost 2 on the bounce in the league and then in the EFL Cup, to have lost today and then to go into that World Cup period, maybe with Man United equaling them on points, would have been infuriating. So it's so important to win today for the fans, for the club, and then for the pressure of that first fixture when you return. Very, very key indeed. Let's have a look at some more of your comments here. Darwin Noodles. Listen, I'm someone that, I don't know if you guys saw my video the other day about Darwin Nunez. And I stand by what I said in that video, to be honest with you. I feel like the criticism that, I get that banter's fine, but I feel like the professional criticism that he has received from pundits and the like, I feel has kind of gone a little too far at times. Like, how bad is he really would be, is the question that I would pose. I mean, I'm not just in the Premier League alone. I know he hasn't got a huge amount of goals in the Prem this year. By the way, interestingly, Firmino's on 7. Is it 5 Premier League goals that Darwin Nunez has now after the brace today? I think he was on 3. And now that puts him on to 5, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe someone knows a little better than I am. Just scrolling down the list now. Where is Darwin? Yeah, 5 Premier League goals he's got. But if you look at him kind of overall, he's starting to perform better. He's starting to settle. And he's got quite a few goals. So it's 5 in the Prem, 3 in the Champions League, 1 in the Community Shield. So you're looking at 9 goals so far this season. And that's come from 10 starts. It's not bad. 10 starts, 9 goals. It's really not a terrible return. In total appearances for Liverpool, 10, 16, 17, 18. 18 appearances, and he's got 9 goals. It's not that bad. It's not as bad as I think people have made him out to be, is what I would say with Darwin. Very raw, has made mistakes, but the brace will do him the world of good as he goes into this World Cup break. There's no doubt about it. James here says Nunez over Jesus is what James has got to say here. I'm not sure if people would agree with you on that, but fair dues to you. Madison got injured. Oh, did he? Is it a bad one? I didn't know that. Is it a bad one? Let me know in the comments, people, the extent of that injury, please. Alisson is the best keeper in the league. Listen, let me speak on this guy. 3 saves. It was 2 one-on-ones, and then a save from a header. They're goals, I think, for nearly every other goal, barring probably David De Gea, who's on shot stopping is still, in my opinion, one of the best in the world. Every other team concedes those chances. Alisson, as good as Liverpool were for large parts in the second half, defensively, they're still ropey, Liverpool. Let's get it absolutely right. They're ropey. They've got to do something in January defensively. New right back, new centre back. I don't know what it is, but they've got to solidify something at the back. But Alisson today, the guy was an absolute colossus in goal. There was a number of times where Southampton went through and went, oh, they'll score here. Boom, save. Alisson is an absolute beast of a man. One of the best goalkeepers ever in the Premier League. And I think with these footwork ability, and I like to break the eras down when it comes to goalies. I don't like to compare Peter Schmeichel to modern day goalies because goalies of Schmeichel's era were not trained to use their feet. It's a new skill that's been developed. So it's hard. When you compare eras, I think you have to compare achievements as opposed to their individual styles because football's different. Footballers are better dribblers now. Yeah, but did you see the pitches they played on in the 60s, 70s, and 80s? I don't think you can compare the two things. Sorry, peeps. I've had a bit of pain in my chest then. Oh, sorry. But there we go. United should sign Tony and a right back. Maybe they should. I'm going to going to get KJ, Dan, and Tom on the show with us now. Welcome, people. Well, what you all saying?
Bro, my hairline's going to be gone by the time I get 20 years old with this team. Oh, my God.
Well, I mean, you man can't keep getting away with this, man.
No, like, it's all going to fall apart soon enough. You can't keep getting your 4-3s.
How long have they been saying that?
Yeah, but honestly, Dan, do you think this is sustainable? Do you think this
it all depends.
Football can get you top 4 in a trophy?
It depends how much they back Conte in January. Because if we don't back Conte, then I don't think so. But if we do and we go buy a right wing back and a good center back, then I think we can. But it all depends on Levy and it all depends on the board. But to be completely honest with you, I don't think we will back Conte. So I'm really worried on that factor. But I hope that we keep Conte in, and I hope that we back Conte because I think that this guy is a serial winner, and that's something that we are not. And I think that this guy, if anybody in the world can win us a trophy, it would be Antonio Conte. I just think that the fan base needs to realize that because we have our we have all our priorities on the wrong thing. It should be Levy that we're putting pressure on, not Conte. It should be Levy that we're putting the pressure on. This guy's the guy that's been failing us for 21 years. One trophy for 21 years is not good enough. Not good enough. Conte in, man. We need to back this guy. We back this guy, we're going to win trophies and we're going to be successful.
You guys said that about Mourinho, though. Mourinho was the only guy. Mourinho was the only guy that could win your trophy because he's a past serial winner. KJ, I know you're saying put the pressure on Levy, which is fair enough, isn't it? But maybe just Spurs as a football club isn't the place for serial winners to thrive.
Because the thing is that we didn't back Jose Mourinho. We didn't back him. That's what I'm saying. He wanted Ruben Diaz, and he got Joe Rodon. He wanted Bruno Fernandes, and he got Jedson Fernandes. Like, he wasn't backed. He was not backed. And the whole fan base turned on him as soon as he came in because everybody was like, oh, he's a Chelsea legend. I don't want him at our club. That's the type of mentality that our fan base has.
In the same breath, though, Conte has been. He's got a right wing back there. He just refuses to use him.
A right wing back that he didn't want.
It's better. Anything's better than Emerson.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Look, being Conte in doesn't mean that you can't criticize him. If there was something that I would criticize Conte in, is that he should definitely be starting Jed Spence over Emerson Royale. But at the end of the day, if he didn't want Jed Spence, why is he at the club? Why did Levy sign?
No, that's fair. That's fair because Spurs literally didn't need to buy him because you're wasting his career as well if he wasn't going to get played. But why do Spurs play the way that they do? Is it the players or is it Conte? Someone tell me, because it's getting to the point where it's every game, the script is written. You'll go down by 1 or 2, you make a comeback. Go down by 1 or 2, make a comeback. And you'll just keep doing that. So Why is that the way that you guys play? Because you guys love to struggle, and I don't know why. I'm trying to like think and understand why you guys play like that.
That's the big question, man. That's the golden question that everybody seems to be asking at the moment. But to be honest, I think it's more of a going into the game unfocused. But I don't know how it could happen so many times, right? Because if you do one mistake, surely the next time you're going to realize that and try and improve on that. And if it's a lack of focus, then surely the next game you'd be going in and trying to improve on the way that you start in games. But it doesn't seem like that's happening.
Yeah,
It's every single
Dan,
time.
it's not a lack of focus. It's a lack of intensity. And it's clearly an instruction from Antonio Conte, because even in this game, every single time you scored, barring when you scored the winner, the first equalizer, the second equalizer, you did it, and then you essentially, you didn't not attack. That would be incorrect. But your intensity out the game went, and you allowed more time and space on the ball for Leeds. And for me, when I watch Tottenham play, that is almost systematic with every single game. And the problem is in the Premier League, it's such a fast-paced and intense league. It doesn't really work. And I was listening to someone said to me the other day, and I don't remember who told me this now, but essentially in Serie A, like there's a train of thought around sort of football where it's almost like let the opponents have the ball, let them run around and tire themselves out, and we'll do something about it later in the game.
Maybe that could be the case on how Conte, but I don't think it's an instruction thing, because if you think about it, like maybe, but he doesn't really change anything. Like the tactics don't change. He doesn't change the formation when we concede a goal. It's the same thing, and I just think it's a mentality thing as well. Because one goal down. I don't know what it is with this team, but they're just like, oh, we're one goal down now. We got to wake up and go at them. That's what I think it is.
It's so not sustainable, though. You're able to come back against the likes of Leeds and Bournemouth. But like as Arsenal showed, when you go down against them, it's so much harder. And those type of games, those games against the teams you're battling with, they're the deciders, not necessarily your games against the bottom half teams where you're able to come back and beat them 4-3 or beat them 3-2. When, let's say, Man City or Chelsea rock up at White Hart Lane and go 2-0 up, you're not coming back. And that's where at the end of the season you'll sit there and go, that's what's cost us. Because this is not sustainable, not in the slightest. Harry Kane, his goals won't dry up, but there will be games where he blanks. And then what do? There'll be games where Bentancur can't bail you out with 2 goals. And then what do? You can't just keep relying on this individual brilliance from a different player every game, because it won't happen every game. And then it all falls apart.
But most of the times we concede, it's not even the tactics. It's more of a stupid individual mistake.
Yeah, but that is like a symptom of the tactic, where you allow the pressure to happen and you allow these things happen to your players, but the pressures go on and then they make mistakes. If you want less pressure on your defenders, keep the ball further up the opposition's half of the field. You don't invite that pressure onto you because you know your defenders aren't good enough.
And I think as Man United fans, we've experienced this. When we had Jose Mourinho and Oli, they would score a goal and then sit back, whether it was an equalizer or to go ahead. And we'd be like, no, maintain that intensity, get the second, get the third. So when we talk about Antonio Conte's Tottenham, we're not even talking from bitterness. We're talking from experience. And I feel like we've been there. We've experienced it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I get that. But
I've experienced
it. I will say, though, Kuleveski, what a player. What a player. You guys, that kid, yeah, I know he's what, 21, 22? He is your future. If you guys are going to go anywhere, if you guys are going to win any trophies in the next how many years, he is the guy that you need to make sure he's happy. Like, I know you say, like, keep Harry Kane happy. The man's 30. He'll be gone in the next few years, like, for whatever reason. Kuleveski is the guy that you need to keep happy. Make sure he's happy. Build a team around him. And you would then have a chance to actually do something in terms of the players that you have. But, yeah, special guy, man. Just love the way that he plays.
Yeah, that was we need to replicate that January transfer window that we had last season to this season and just get players that completely like change the way that we're playing. Because when we signed Bentancur and Kuleveski, I think that's literally the whole reason why we got top 4. If we would have not signed those 2 players, I don't think we would have got top 4 last season.
Fair enough. Yo, Tom, speak to me, my brother.
First time this season we've won 3 games in a row. Wonderful stuff. Good game, good performance. Darwin Nunez, my guy. He's becoming one of the most complete strikers in the league, KJ. He was boss again today. Link up was sound. Goals were sound. Dribbling. getting there with the dribbling, but everything else was sound. Love him.
Yo, Tom, you do realize his first goal was him trying to control it with his left foot and he went in.
See, that's what everyone else thought. In reality, that was a fit. That was a shot. That I don't care as long as he's putting them in the back of the net. Bobby Firmino was. There's more. Give Nunez his plaudits. Bobby Firmino was brilliant today. When he's on it, he's so good to watch. Thiago was sound as he always is. Fabinho was better than usual. Harvey Elliott, though, I need to put a little bit aside for this kid. He is something special. People get onto him for nothing. He's not strong enough to play in the Premier League. He's 19. On the ball, with his brain, with his technique, he's so good. Fantastic assist for Nunez' second today. Fantastic ball through. Nunez probably should have got a third when he played him through. I don't care, though. We've got the win. Leave this awful start of the season on a high. Pick up in December. Pick up in January. Go for the top 4. Because if we play like we have been these past couple of games, with the way the setup we've got, the players on form, we can easily get top 4 so easily because we've got the quality
easily. So
easily.
You don't think the struggles will come back? You don't think the poor performances will come back at some point? You think from now and then when we come back, obviously to the Premier League and to the end of the season, you're just gonna have a clean sweep, clean journey into the top 4.
Provided that we strengthen the midfield in January, yes. Because from what I'm seeing from the attack, you're getting Diaz back, you're getting Jota back. They bring you goals, they bring you assists. As long as that midfield, our problem area, is sorted out, we'll be fine. Because the defence is sound, the attack's sound. Special shout out to Robbo as well. Most assists out of a defender in Premier League history today. That's what he's.
Oh, really?
That's the record he locked up today. Yeah.
More than Trent.
More than Trent.
So,
56, I think he's got.
How much has Trent got?
I think Trent's on like 48 or something. Trent hasn't got a single assist this season, so he's fallen off.
Oh, really? That's crazy. That's really crazy. That's mad.
Mm.
But on Nunez, yeah, what is the improvement? Because at the start of the season, he was not looking like a striker that you'd want anywhere near a top 6 team. Now, he's bagging his goals. He's causing chaos. What has been the change?
Confidence. He's got that confidence. It's probably because the injuries. Losing Jota and Diaz for an extended period of time has guaranteed him starting. But I think he also needed that guarantee of a start. He's come in at the same window as Haaland, a bigger price tag than Haaland. All the pressure's on him. And he came in and he was a bit part player to start off with off the bench, getting a couple of minutes, not even playing some games. Now that he's that 100% starter, whether it's up front or off the left, he's got so much more confidence about himself. He knows he doesn't need to prove much more. He knows he's got that spot, and he's just, you can see it in his game. He pulled out a Bacchio today. At the start of the season, if he tried that, he would have tripped over. He pulled that out and nearly got an assist. So I'm just loving what I'm seeing from. He's not going to be Haaland. He's never going to be Haaland. He's certainly nowhere near as clinical as Haaland. But for what he gives us, he's mental.
He's not going to be Haaland, but he's going to be one of the most complete strikers in the league.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. He creates so many chances as well. That cross today, he should have got an assist. How Salah didn't score that cross, which Bazunu saved, that should have been an assist. And then he comes off that pitch at full time, 2 goals and an assist. That's a prime Harry Kane performance. And Darwin Nunez is dropping that.
Yo, Dan. Obviously, you're in the top 4 already. Are you worried about Liverpool coming back and doing a little challenge?
If the whole thing about somebody coming in and buying Liverpool is true, then I'm literally shaking in my boots. But if I don't know, because I don't trust FSG to go out and buy more than what is necessary to get 100% into that top 4. But I think that we will be top 4. I think that Liverpool do have the quality to be top 4. It's all if they get a midfielder in January. And I think if they do, they will get top 4. But I think both of us could be in top 4. I think it could be Man City, Arsenal, us, and Liverpool. But yeah, that's how I think. I'm not really worried unless somebody comes in and buys Liverpool. Then I'm gonna be like really, really worried.
Oh, fair enough. I'm saying this though, Darwin Nunez, the improvements come from game time, but moving him to more of the left-hand side, whether it's left wing or the left-hand side of a front 2, That is where the improvements come from. When Klopp realized you can't play this brother down the middle solely to do the link-up play, false nine Firmino role, that ain't him, bro. His touches are too wild and erratic to do that. You know what I mean? But he's moved him out.
Maybe
out
Tony
wide.
then. Maybe Ivan Toney's the answer. Nunez off the left, Ivan Toney in the middle, Mo Salah off the right. Diaz rotates with Nunez, Jota rotates with Tony. That's a solid front three. That Nunez, he can do the link up, but it's hit and miss. That's the thing, that it's inconsistent, and I don't know whether it will be once he's developed more. It will never be as good as Firmino. Firmino's a different level when it comes to that. But if it will be good enough for a top level team in terms of what we need our striker to do, but putting him in the box, putting the ball in there and creating chances for him, the kid's scoring goals. He's creating chances. He's doing his job. And in this stretch of games where we've been incredibly inconsistent, after every game you're sitting there going, Nunez was a bright spark. Nunez was doing something. That chaos that he gives, it's something we haven't had for years. It was something that reminded me of an early Sadio Mane when he was at us, putting him on the pitch and stuff would just happen around him and he'd always be involved. Whenever he was there, stuff would happen. And that's what it's like with Nunez at the minute. The second goal today, that is Jota, that is Diaz. It doesn't end up there. But because it's Nunez, I don't think if that's Diaz, he scores that. I think Diaz tries to take a touch and the keeper comes out and smothers it. But Nunez is it's instinct, and it's something that I really like about him. And I do still stand by what I said after Ajax. Darwin Nunez will be one of the most complete strikers in the league.
There's a long way to go for that, my brother. Like maybe 20 years when he's 37. Right, we got a comment here saying next season Nunez will outscore Haaland. So you've conceded. You've conceded this season, Owain. You've conceded this season, and you're saying next season's when he's gonna do it. Okay, fair enough, innit? Fair enough. At least you can do that next season. Man like Chris says, KJ, we didn't sign Nunez to do Bobby things. That's just stupidity. No, you didn't, but Klopp was trying to make him do Bobby things. I don't know if people saw what he was doing with his lone striker, but that was why he was there. I'm glad Klopp changed it because, like I said, he's a player that, given space and time, he will bag you a load of goals. And he's not maybe fit for what we want at Man United, but Liverpool can use that kind of player, something different for them up top. Right, we have got man like Prime with us right now. Prime, what do you want to say, my brother?
What's happening at Spurs is actually quite beautiful to see, man. I said this when Conte got appointed that, you know, the same talk that you guys had with Jose is the same thing with Conte, and he's not the guy. He's not winning trophies at Spurs. He's not a good enough manager to win the league up against Pep and Klopp, because I'm assuming Liverpool will be back next season onwards. His record in domestic cup competitions is awful, and his record in European competitions is even worse. Where is he getting the trophy?
Yo, Dan, that's for you, brother. Where's Conte getting the trophy?
I think it can be a cup, maybe the FA Cup. But the thing is that I said the same thing about the Carabao Cup, and we lost. So the Carabao Cup is where I thought the best chance of winning a trophy was. But it's gone. But maybe we can get one from the FA Cup. That's where I said from the beginning of the season that we would get one. I don't think that we've got the quality to win the Premier League, and I don't think we have the quality to win the Champions League. But in the future, if we back Conte, this guy is the man to win us trophies. He is. He's the guy to win us trophies. And the reason why I'm saying this is because there's factual evidence for it. He's won at most of the other clubs that he's been at. Every other club that he's been at. But what I'm so worried about is that if he doesn't get backed, I'm sure that he's going to not win trophies for us. I need to see Levy go, all right, I'm going to back you. And that's what I think, if anything, I would rather see Conte walk out instead of Levy sacking him, because I would rather see him point that middle finger at Daniel Levy and go, I'm not going to stand with this. You're not backing me. And then the whole fan base will see it. It would be so clear to them that finally they're going to realize that it's Daniel Levy that's the problem. And they're going to start actually trying to make action like Manchester United are doing with the Glazers, like that. But I don't think that Levy will sack Conte until something bad happens. I think Conte, until we're out of the Champions League, I don't think Levy's going to have in the back of the mind of sacking Conte, because at the end of the day, he's going to have that Champions League cash in his pocket. So I don't think he's in the back of his mind he's ever thinking about sacking Conte. But I think that Conte is the man to win us trophies, personally, for me.
I
Yo,
don't
yo,
see
you
it.
are
I don't
not.
see it.
The
I-
clubs,
I-
sorry,
Sounding
Dom.
like Man United
The
fans
clubs that
when
he's
we
gone
had
and won at
and Jose.
have been big clubs where he's basically had all the resources in the world. You're given the best players,
That's what I'm
and
saying.
like it's expected to win. You don't have that at Spurs. You don't have that. Spurs are not a club where you can sign the best, arguably the best player from a title-winning team the season before in N'Golo Kante, as well as having a title-winning team that was bought from 2 seasons ago from the previous manager. It's not Spurs are not Juventus, where basically a one-horse league and you can monopolize that.
When he went to
Spurs
Juventus,
are not an Inter Milan where you can capitalize off the best
4
team in the
seasons.
league falling off, and then you can
And
go and win
sign
it.
like
Spurs are
20
not like
players
that.
in 2 years.
When Conte won the league with Chelsea, we weren't playing in Europe. We played 1 game a week, and we
The
were
season
lucky
before he
that
finished
the
10th.
only team we competed with for said title was Spurs. At Inter Milan, he won the league after finishing bottom of his Champions League group, a tougher group that you guys just had right now. At Juventus, he won the league. One of them he won when he wasn't playing in Europe. Another one he won, arguably you could say, allegedly match fixing. Like Conte is one of the most overrated managers. When he was brought, when Spurs fans appointed him, they're all getting gas and saying this is the guy, this is who we thought Jose Mourinho was, serial winner, yada yada yada. He's one of the biggest frauds in football.
No, come on.
Antonio Conte.
You're gonna rest your laurels in winning. If you're gonna rest your laurels in winning, no. But listen, because he won a title for me. I can't really say too much.
You're a
I'm
Chelsea
happy
fan.
when Chelsea only have 5 league titles in our history.
Yeah,
So
and he
you win a
got
league
you
title
one
with me,
in
I
it.
can't really
Well,
complain.
man.
I've got a question.
Being real, the guy's not the guy. He's not the guy to do what you guys want to win a trophy. He's not.
Where did Chelsea finish the season before when Conte came in?
We finished 10th, and the season before that, we won the league with a title-winning team that was built already. We had a
came in-
title-winning team
So then, how did you finish 10th? You had
because it
problems.
fell apart. Because it fell apart
When
for.
we went to
Because
Inter,
it fell apart for. It fell apart. It fell apart for a season, but again, it was a title-winning team. And plus, we went out and we bought the best midfielder from the season beforehand's title-winning team in N'Golo Kante. You guys won't do that. You guys won't strengthen and build to go and win the league. You guys won't capitalize. You guys won't capitalize on Man City having a potential off year this year to go win that league. We did that. When we won it with Conte, we weren't playing in Europe, and we capitalized on no one else being strong. City's, I think that was their first season with Pep. They weren't strong. Liverpool were nothing then. Man United were still going through that ball of Ollie or Pep or whoever it was at their club at that point. There was no one challenging us. We had a free walk to the league. It was only Poch at Spurs, and it's Spurs. Like, of course they were going to fail.
But that's my claim. Wait, sorry, that my claim's got some chat to go through here. First of all, man says United should sign Tony and a right back in Jan. I would love to buy that in January, but we ain't buying nothing in Jan. We just got we need to worry about Fulham first. Cool. Thank you, my brother, become a member of the Football Terrace. Thanks so much. Every donation counts. We will hopefully bring you more content for you members as well, coming very, very soon. Jerome says it's definitely not Conte tactics. He just gave he just have unreliable players at the back. They play good attacking football today. Also, KJ, when am I going to get Midnight Vibes back? I need Vibes FC back. All right, listen, we will work on that. We are working now. A lot of stuff going on behind the scenes, so we will look at our way to bring up Vibes FC. But yeah, listen, I miss it as well, man. Spurs fans, United fans, Chelsea fans, Liverpool fans, we all need Vibes FC right now. Heck, Man City fans too. Anyone who's not an Arsenal fan basically needs Vibes FC to get them through the season, because bloody hell, if they win the league, mad scenes. Mama Flossie also saying Leicester are saying that Maddison is okay. So Maddison went down in their game. It looks like he will be okay for the World Cup, so everyone can.
He's not starting anyway, so who cares?
Yeah, okay, listen, we all know Prime is a England hater, but it's okay.
The same England hater that said you guys will get to the final. My bad.
Is an England hater. We all know that, and it's okay. Before we go, Prime, you guys have kicked off. Are you stressed?
Am I stressed about Chelsea? No, because I know it is what it is. Right. I've been calling kind of how bad we've been all season. Chelsea fans haven't seen it. Whatever. They can go suffer when it gets bad.
He's
is. We're
resigned to his
losing
face.
today.
He's resigned
Worst
to his
fan I
face.
ever know, man.
It is. It is. It is. It is what it is.
Oh,
Like, what is it you said, KJ? You said 3 years ago. We're on a vibes thing. Hey, I enjoy chaos. We're on a vibes thing here. Let's go.
Cool, isn't it? Cool. Right, one last comment before we go. Ash Ketchum won a trophy before Tottenham. Hey, he's actually won 2. Ash Ketchum has actually won 2 trophies
Who's
before
Ash
Spurs.
Ketchum?
Yeah, don't worry about that. Like, you have no childhood. It's okay. Right, guys. We hope Terry is okay. You know what it is when you get to a certain age. You know your inside start to do funny things that you don't realize. You know what I mean? So he's probably dealing with himself.
Is it
The Chelsea
KJ
game is kicked off.
23?
We will be back. We will be back after the Chelsea game. And so please return for us. You know what to do. Smash that like button, subscribe to the Football Terrace, and also share this out to everyone around as well. Guys, Tom, Dan, Prime, thank you so much for calling. Everyone in the comments, thank you so much. And yeah, we'll see you after the game. Catch you in a bit.